I've heard some talking heads on Twitter, maybe even on some YouTube contexts, say that PC players are threatened by the PlayStation 5 Pro. Many of you by now, you've probably seen the Ratchet and Clank preliminary analysis that was done by Digital Foundry. And I'm sure some of you probably have made up your mind, or maybe you've changed your mind based on that. I saw an audience member of mine say they decided that they were just going to buy, 4 terabyte SSD regardless and just cancel their PS5 Pro order because they need more memory and they can keep their disk drive. To me, I think that's a valuable reason to basically not buy a PS5 Pro. If you even read the comments, it's filled with a lot of folk who are not really impressed as to exactly what's going on. And I made a video about it, but in this video, I've seen some people come and tell me that I'm hating on the PlayStation 5 Pro because it's going to give console players PC-like performance. To that, I have to tell my PlayStation fans, guys, are we really going to just say stuff because somebody else is saying it? Or are we going to actually think through what the heck it is we're saying? Because if you're talking about PC-like performance, the base PS5 already achieved that in most cases. Why? On PC, you can get multiple different configurations of the hardware. And so if you look at even Marvel Spider-Man, the 2018 remaster on PC, you'll realize that the minimum and recommended specs are PCs that your PS5 is more powerful than. Your base PS5 was already achieving PC-like performance all the way back in 2020, especially when you look at the PlayStation games that a lot of PlayStation fans who buy the console or who are aficionados and want to go ahead and get the Pro already play. Come down to the list, look at Helldivers 2, which is a live service game, look at God of War Ragnarok. Your PlayStation 5 is already quite capable as a base device. The pushback that the PlayStation 5 Pro is receiving is now that it's a different and more, in quote, powerful SKU. Everyone is taking a look at it to see if it delivers enough power to justify its price point. It's not about getting or being intimidated by it getting PC-like performance, because that's just going to be weird at the end of the day. I mean, look at a game like God of War Ragnarok. Its minimum requirement is a GTX 1060, of which the GPU, in the PS5 is on a 6700 non-XT level. It's already more powerful. So again, I would hope that we will be thinking about this from a more objective perspective. When you actually think about, the way PC players have also been commenting on this stuff and pointing out comparisons in the market and looking at different frame rates and different, capabilities, it's because some console players are looking and saying, instead of me going to buy myself another console, how can I get into the PC, platform? Simply because in the PC platform, even though your console, the base PS5 or base Series X, was more powerful than a lot of these games, minimum and recommended specs, the one thing these PCs have is the fact that they can pretty much just change up. They can switch up their components, and in that being able to switch up their components, they get a better advantage in being able to pretty much upgrade without moving to a whole new device. That's pretty much what I think the conversational piece that's missing is trying to point out. But a lot of folk have taken this stuff personally, like somebody hates your console, or like somebody is, doing something to undermine the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, perhaps there are people who have probably laughed and mocked to say, well, you're pointing to a 4070, but this thing's not going to do what a 4070 is going to do because of A, B, C, D, E. And they're bringing, data and evidence to the table to kind of back that up. Because again, on the PC side, you have different kinds of CPU SKUs. The way they perform is different. And a lot of those CPUs are better than what you have in a PlayStation 5 Pro. However, no one is actually being, intimidated because you're getting PC-like experience. You've been getting that with the base PS5 and in the case of Xbox with the base Series X. So at the end of the day, I think this is something that a lot of folk have not necessarily, thought through. And this is one of the reasons I said some of my fellow console gamers and fellow PlayStation fans, you're very stiff-necked. Somebody could be showing you, what may be good for you, but because you have this, I don't know what it is, unwavering dedication to PlayStation, you think that it's noble to just always, take what the hyper fanboys are saying. Even Mark Cerny himself, I don't think actually sold this PlayStation 5 to the extent that a lot of PlayStation folk are actually selling it right now. So we have to really be careful. And this is exactly how we approach hardware analysis. We wait. We check what the hardware is capable of doing before actually putting our money down. I think the PlayStation 5 Pro has been very interesting. It's really revealed that a lot of console players, don't necessarily care too much about, verifying a lot of the information that they're given. I'm not, I'm just pointing out what the reality is, seeing that most of them actually did pre-order by seeing some images that were shown by Mark Cerny. Now, this is to say that they just don't care. And, it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. But some of you do care. You've said that this is going to give you more performance. This is going to give you A, B, C, D, and E. Well, if you're thinking it's going to give you that, then wait till the console gets performance metrics on more games, or especially the games that you see yourself playing now and in the future. This is how we usually do it on the PC side. It's, in my opinion, the most prudent way to go, the most prudent way to actually use your funds. Like in this video here that's done by PC Builder, this is a YouTuber who takes, a lot of requests and questions from his audience members. In this piece, somebody recommended this video to me, actually. So shout out to you in my comment section. And I know links are hard to post. I had to go through and kind of I look through my filtered comments. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't see them. And somebody requested and said, hey man, I have $700 to actually put a build together. What should I do to actually make my build, beefier? Now, the person made a build. They put their stuff on PC Part Picker, and they made some purchases. I think in the 7-minute mark here, they bought like an Intel GPU for about $200, and they bought an extra cooler. So he was pointing out like, hey man, you don't need to bother with some of these purchases. And, if you wanted to make a better choice, you should make, you should buy a 7600 XT. And he was giving a lot of, feedback in helping to, bring this particular build up to speed and show the price points and show the performance metrics that are there based on the games that the individual actually wants to play. So this is exactly how we do it. We literally will go through and figure out how the hardware performs on games that we're wanting to play. Because if they showed you that PlayStation 5 Pro with Call of Duty, they'll show you with, the game getting like, 70, 80 FPS with the way that the build already is, because Call of Duty can run on pretty much almost a potato at this point. It's super optimized for the highest, possible sales that you can actually get out of it. However, when it comes to some of the games that are more important in the PlayStation ecosystem, a lot of those games are very demanding, and even some third-party titles. So how much improvement are you getting from a lot of these other titles? What is Red Dead Redemption 2 doing? What are other games doing that are not necessarily from the PlayStation 4 era? These are questions that have not yet been answered. And so that's why I think a lot of folk are actually talking about this. This is not a point of hate. This is people scrutinizing the hardware the way usual hardware improvements have been scrutinized in the past. No one just drops money, except I've seen for some, console fans, on just pretty much any hardware without getting metrics. Even the 5090, once its reviews come out, that's where you're going to see a bigger boost of its sales. Now, some enthusiasts will probably just buy it just so that they have a 5090. But if you're looking for, say, what your money is buying and what your dollars are being spent on, then you really do want the best information that you can get your hands on to be able to know that you're making an informed decision that does work out for you. All right, that's my video on this particular issue. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Like I said, the frames will be counted and you'll be able to make a very good decision as to exactly what this new console is going to do for you, or if at all you actually want it. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.